context for all of this sort of work and design and conceptualization around cross-training was partly a reaction to things that were changing in people's minds about what it meant to be fit.
People in this day and age decided to step outside of their comfort zone and try different things.
It became more and more acceptable and desirable to actually start to vary, what you did on a daily basis.
Some of the original insights into training and cross-training and developing cross-training product was around this multi-dimensional, multi-sport versatility.
Back then it was more about playing sports and being active, and then the benefit of playing those different sports and how it made you become a better athlete just through being active and having that balance.
At one end, it had to be a good running idea, and the design had to support that. And then on the other end, it had to be strong enough and stable enough for a good-sized person to go out and again play some lateral type court sport.
I talk to Tinker usually informally almost every day, but sometimes formally about stuff like this. And it's funny, I was just going through one of his sketch folders of the original Air Trainer, and I was reading some of his notes, and basically what he had said was multi-purpose high-performance product. And that was the basic insight.
The midfoot strap that everybody sort of points at and the outrigger of that shoe, that original shoe, was really a response toward dealing with lateral stability and then kind of developing an iconic look around that particular criteria or that idea. One of our laboratory guys went down to talk to John McEnroe. He had a foot problem and he was having some trouble with our tennis shoes at the time. So our lab guys took a pair of Air Trainers, with him, and he gave them to John McEnroe and said, these aren't really tennis shoes, but it sounds to me like, your foot problem could be alleviated by wearing these instead of a tennis shoe. And John, I don't think he quite believed him, but tried him out anyway, and proceeded to win the next 4 or 5 big tournaments that he played in over the course of the next year in Air Trainers, in cross-training shoes. To me, Bo Jackson was a larger-than-life kind of character. I mean, he was so muscular and kind of like a human cannonball of a guy, just really fast and powerful, and maybe even his personality was a little bit like that. We felt like he could help overcome some of the doubters, the naysayers, and there were still some for sure, by sort of linking the shoe performance-wise and aesthetically to Bo Jackson.
We needed to come out with a shoe that represented the dual sport athlete, the cross trainer. Something that you could train in for baseball, you can train in for football, you could train in for track, basketball, and so forth and so on.
I think this general notion of versatility and multi-sport or multi-dimension and how we could bring modern performance and new modern performance technologies to that notion was what we kind of keyed in on for the Trainer 1.
The science behind athletes and training and the sports specificity that's out there this day. You don't see a lot of this unless you're just a very dominant, over-the-top, individual who's been blessed, with all of God-given talent. You don't see a lot of three-sport athletes anymore. A lot of kids are specifying at a younger age what their sport is and what they want to do, and then what they have to do to reach that maximum potential.
We're returning to versatility and developing a shoe that will work well in a variety of conditions for these big, powerful athletes. Yet we actually have a much bigger palette of new materials that allow for strength and stability, but continually sort of help us reduce the weight and increase maybe breathability and durability, all in the same package. We can do some of the same things we did back in the day, but with far better materials and much better research about how athletes really perform.
And what if we just let's just go back to the original. Let's take the classic, but reinvent it. And as soon as we did that, the product just kind of came to life. It had this heritage, so you just naturally kind of gravitated towards it. So I think good design is a blend of modern and classic elements.